Hey everybody, Mo here, and today I'm bringing you guys a deck guide and some gameplay on Jack Seraphine. So, Jack Seraphine, an extremely popular deck right now, just won the recent Mastering Runeterra $2,000 tournament. It is probably the most popular, in the most popular lineup with top players at the moment, which is Fizz, Samira, Jack Seraphine, and then Karma Set, which is the lineup I'm going to be on for the Open. Surprise, surprise. Nothing crazy there. The list I'm still fine-tuning with my team. So I'm here to show you guys what that kind of looks like at the moment and kind of show you guys some games for this. So if you're wanting to try and practice this for the Open because you see a lot of top players are doing really well with it, but maybe you're not having some success, this is the video for you. It's going to kind of teach you how to play and what to look out for. So before we get into the video and into the deck guide, I wanted to remind you guys that 72% of the people who watch my videos aren't actually subscribed to me. So if you can do me a huge, huge favor, click that subscribe button, comment on the video, like the video, anything like that helps out with the YouTube algorithm. Greatly, greatly appreciate it. It all helps out. Literally comment anything, helps out with the YouTube algorithm. Greatly appreciate it. Also, I'm not wearing glasses today. My glasses snapped just in the middle of my scrim session just now. Winston has been chewing on my glasses, and I did not notice how bad he chewed on the frame, and it just kind of snapped. And so, yeah, I have to get new glasses. So you're going to have to deal with glasses-less Mo for a couple days. Yeah, so let's get into it. So, the deck guide. So I'm going to go over what the point of each card is, why the deck is kind of built like this, and then go over why I play some cards and why I don't play some other cards, which I think is the most important thing. I'm not going to go over each individual card because all I'm doing is like, oh, deals 2 damage, deals 2 damage. So it's not going to be like super in-depth on each card, but kind of just explain mostly why I play some cards and not others. And the point of this deck. So the main way this deck wins and kind of the game plan, general game plan, is Mischievous Mirai creates a keg whenever you cast a spell, and you put a spell on the stack, and Seraphine doubles all of your spells. So anytime you play a new spell that costs 2 or less, Seraphine makes 2 kegs. So that means if you play some sort of burst speed spell that doesn't deal damage, or really any spell that doesn't deal damage, you can sit there and stack up spells. This is usually done with burst speed spells. That way you don't give your opponent time to react or interact with your combo at all. And then you play Seraphine, you play a bunch of burst speed spells like Encore, usually stuff off of, where's it at? Stuff off of Sputtering Song Spinner, Drum Solo, your Formula, and then things like Rummage. I already said Encore, like Line 'em Up gives you some kegs. You play a bunch of burst speed stuff that doesn't deal damage, and then you top it off with just a burst speed warning shot that kills your opponent most of the time at, like I said, burst speed where they can't interact with it. How this is done is just by a little bit of stalling. You have to level your Seraphine, and then you just get both Seraphine and BB down. This card's called BB. If you ever hear someone call BB or say BB, this is the card they're referring to as Mischievous Mirai because her name is BB. They go by BB, so that's why people call it BB. It's also much quicker and easier to say than Mischievous Mirai, Mischievous Mirai, Mischievous Mirai. Yeah, so how do you do that is you stall a lot. So it's kind of similar to Karma Set, where you play a bunch of removal spells because you're in PNZ. You have like Tellstones, you have heavy metal because you're in Bilgewater and it destroys equipment. High Note, Mystic Shot, Make It Rain, Aftershock, Caustic Rifts. Like you have all Sump Fumes. You have all of the damage dealing spells, but you see here usually only playing 1-ofs because you are still a Seraphine deck. And Seraphine does have a high deck building requirement of playing mostly 1-ofs, maybe some 2-ofs of the really important cards like Heavy Metal. 3 Caustic Rifts because of how powerful it is, but for the most part, you're playing 1-ofs of these cards because you don't really want to double draw them. Like, you don't want to draw 2 Mystic Shots, you'd either just draw 1 High Note, 1 Mystic Shot. And so because of that, that's why the deck looks kind of funky if you're a newer player, you don't really understand how Seraphine works, you've never seen a Seraphine deck built before. That's why it kind of looks like a singleton meme deck, because most of the time you're like, well, if you put 3-ofs of everything, then your deck's more consistent. But if really you can't do that with Seraphine because you're going to have a really hard time leveling her. So it's a lot of repetitive spells, a lot of like deal 2 damage, but just in how many different forms. So it's like deal 2 damage from Heavy Metal, deal 2 damage from High Note, deal 2 damage from Rummage, deal 2 damage from Peacemaker, deal 2 damage from Sump Future, sometimes deal 3. Yeah, so you saw a lot with removal. Level up your Seraphine with usually a Song Spinner. Sometimes you play Back Alley Barkeep in the later game to make your spells cost less, so you can play more spells and combo off easier that way. And like I said, again, the goal is just to get to a point to where you have Mischievous Mirai and Seraphine in play at the same time, and you can kill them. Sometimes you can kill them with just Mischievous Mirai if you've dealt enough chip damage, but most of the time you'll need Seraphine and Mischievous Mirai in play. I'm going to go over some of the cards in here. People are probably wondering why you play them, or I'm going to explain why I play them over other cards. First off, 5-Punch Pablo. This card is an absolute fucking beast. I think every Jack Seraphine deck should be playing at least one copy of this guy. I straight up want to play 2 copies of this guy because he is really, really powerful into the mid-range decks. Prize Fight is so good into setting up any type of big HP unit down to just Caustic range. Most of the time when this deck is left up, it's into the bad matchups, which is going to be something like, you know, Elites or some sort of mid-range style matchup. Ash Nox, for example. And 5-Punch Pablo is really, really good into those matchups because it's a 4-1. It's a 3-mana 4-1, which, you know, trades with Badger Bear, which is the best statted 3-drop at the moment in the meta. So you can play him just to straight up trade with something. You play him and then Prize Fight is the big thing, is that you can block one unit, Prize Fight another unit. So that unit goes down to 1 HP. Most of the time goes down to 1 HP, maybe sometimes 2 if it's like a really, really big unit. And then now that second unit that was really big and you're going to have a hard time dealing with, well, now it just dies to, you know, Make It Rain. It dies to a Caustic Rift. It dies to a Mystic Shot. It makes it insanely easy to deal with these really, really big threats. And that's why I kind of went 2. But you definitely, I think everyone should be on at least 1 Pablo in these lists because most of the time, against mid-range matchups, he's insane. I would never play 3 because in the control matchups, he is insanely dead. So that's why I think 1 is necessary because in the control matchups, you don't want him because he does absolutely nothing. But in the mid-range matchups, he can just solo carry sometimes with a well-timed Pablo can be devastating. Why do I play some of these kind of janky cards like Peacemaker, Sump Fumes? The answer is that you just need more ways to deal damage. Sump Fumes is a good fast speed way to deal 3 damage. Oftentimes you can proc this. And then Peacemaker is just another way to deal 2, especially if you want to stay on the, you know, more one-of track to make sure you can level your Seraphine and have high value off of Seraphine and Bar. You know, spending 3 mana to deal 2 kind of sucks, but Flash Bombs are really, really good, especially into like Samira Fizz if you plan to play that matchup. I personally don't. I plan to ban Samira Fizz, but this card is very good. Traps in general just really good into Samira Fizz and smaller mid-range decks, so that's why I play it. Another question I get is, why are you only on 1 bar? Because, again, I plan to ban Samira Fizz, which means I plan to play into Karma Set a lot, and into the mirror match a lot, and specifically into Karma Set a lot, and bar is really bad into Karma Set, because a lot of Karma Set decks have finally got onto the 3 Aftershock train, and Aftershock is just literally dead in this matchup outside of bar. So when we scrim this matchup, oftentimes I'll keep 1 Aftershock in my opening hand because I know you're not, the Jack Seraphine player can't really apply a bunch of pressure. And I'll just keep the Aftershock. So whenever they spend their turn 7 playing Back Alley Bar, I just play Aftershock on their bar. I've spent like over half of the mana that they've done, or sorry, less than half the mana that they spent for the turn. And all they got out of it was a 3-3. They like got a 3-3 and then generated some random poopy card. That was their entire turn 7, and it allows me to do something like Aftershock, and then maybe play a Karma if I need to start generating cards. Aftershock, draw more cards. Aftershock, do anything else to set up, you know, the future game, the future late game, which is going to be the really important part you want to fight over. So that's why I'm on 1 bar. I could see you going up to 2 bar just specifically for the mirror match because it seems pretty important. But even again, then in the mirror match, Aftershock is being played a couple times. Like I'm playing Aftershock and I'm also playing Piltover Tellstones. So I have 2 ways to kill it. It's kind of medium there. So that's why I'm only on 1. And then only on 1 Hexsplitter. I think Hexsplitter is a pretty bad card, but I think you do need a way to kind of kill cards on site, like the Leonas, stuff like that. I think Hexsplitter is just fine. Like, you just need to play it. I don't think the card's good, but you need to play it. So, yeah, that's the general overview of what the deck does and how you plan to win. So, let's just start playing some games. I'm going to go over the mulligans as I do them. For the most part, you're just going to want to look for, again, ways to stall the early game and set up for your Seraphine BB. I think the number 1 mistake is people don't play cards often enough. Sputtering Song Spinner is a really good card to just like play on turn 4. If your opponent isn't pressuring you a whole bunch, just play Sputtering Song Spinner on turn 4 to start leveling up your Seraphine. Especially in the mirror match and against Karma's set. in these control matchups, you really need to be leveling your Seraphine so that way you can just Seraphine BB as early as possible and just try and win the game before they can set up a whole bunch of crazy, karma. Oops, it hit turn 10. I played karma. I just accidentally drew like 8 cards in a turn. You don't really want to let them get to that point if you can avoid it. So just play Sputtering Song Spinner on 4, play Formula on 3, do stuff to kind of just like play spells, level up the Seraphine, so that way you can just get Seraphine and BB in play at the same time. Of course, only do that if you're not under pressure. I promise if you're playing against elites and your entire turn 4 is a Sputtering Song Spinner, you're probably in a very bad spot. You either mulliganed incorrectly or you are just praying that your Song Spinner hits you the absolute nuts. But I think that's the biggest mistake people have with this deck. And so I would highly recommend you try and spend more spells, play more spells so you can level up the Seraphine quick. Yeah, so that's it. That's it for the intro. Let's play some games. Alright, so Leona Set. I haven't seen this deck before. Not too familiar with it. But yeah, I assume it's some sort of like probably Daybreak style deck. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep just early removal spells in general is pretty good. You could probably keep Formula, but Jack's really something I'm looking for. As well as like I think Aftershock's gonna be good, and really I just went Jack to try and combat their good 3-drop. I think Jack will have a decent time at blocking with that, and then setting it up to die to some sort of spell. So here we're just gonna pass. We don't have to play anything. Pharaoh's Financer is an okay play here to stop this open attack, but I think 2 damage is probably okay. And I'd much rather just have Hex Obliterator immediately for this, but we don't really need it. We can just Financer. I like Assembly Line's okay. I don't like Formula. It's definitely one of these two. I'm probably just going to take Hextech Anomaly because I don't think Assembly Line is that great either. Wow. So I think I am just going to go ahead and double shoot this thing. I think we're just going to double shoot this thing and tell our opponent to show us that they have like Pale Cascade. They don't have it. Cool. So yeah. So we want to get rid of that immediately before it has time to grow. That's kind of how you combat that, is you just don't let that get big. So now we see we have like very little mana, and our opponent has a lot of mana to spend. So we're just going to click pass. We don't have to do anything. If our opponent wants to pass, we can pass. Give us a Vengeance. That'd be really good if it was 1 turn later for the Leona. But all in all is okay. We're going to make a Jack, because Jack big and Jack good. And we're just going to get our coin. Take and block with our 3-4. We kill a unit, get a coin. I'm pretty happy with that. Oh wow, okay. So I get a coin and then Jack gets to block something else? Like, that's really, really good for us. So let's see here, and this is pretty irrelevant for now. So there's the Leona. I think that's okay. That's okay. We can just play this, and then we can just Hex Obliterator the what is her name? Sorry, the Leona. Afterwards, we can even take like some Fumes here is pretty good for more damage, but I think it's just Seraphine. I'm pretty sure it's just Seraphine. I think it's just Seraphine to start trying to find ways to do some stuff here. We can just block that, yeah. They'll pull in, or we can block it, whatever, and then we can just immediately Aftershock it. There's not really much they can do. They can have like the Healed 2 card, but it is really whatever. So let's go and do this. Force them to have the Heal 2, or Pale, or something. If it's just Pale, that doesn't matter, because we have Caustic Rift. And this also means they're not actually leveling the Leona this turn, which is really good for us. So, I'm down to just put the Caustic Rift on the stack, because I don't want them to play another, like, Mixologist and be able to heal this up anymore. Let's see. Tag out. Okay. I mean, tag out is perfectly fine. If they play Leona next turn, it's not going to have the barrier, because the way it works is if Leona is the 4 out of 4 needed to level, then she's not going to... sure. I'll just get another coin. And she's not going to get the barrier. So, okay. So now they're trading here. Very interesting. I don't know why they didn't just do this earlier, but... Oh, well. Is what it is. I get 2 coins now. I'm happy. Falling Star. Yeah, they could have done all this, like, way earlier, which I find kind of interesting. We're gonna play Seraphine and kind of just, like, maybe force our opponent to opening with Leona. If they do that, we can, Hex Obliterator, be happy. Icequake, kind of whatever. Can't really play it this turn anyways. We know they probably don't have another Pale, or they would have played it earlier. So, this just looks like a good Hex Obliterator time. So, Hex Obliterator. Looks pretty good to me. We still have coin and then tag out if we need it, but we shouldn't really need it with any of this. Like, Seraphine can just chump block whatever. I'm down to like chump block, kill the 2-1. I'm down to just bounce these off each other. Sure, so I'll do this. Sounds good to me. And we can just pass. And now we're basically just looking for BB bar. The 7 mana spell is really good. Drum solo would be good if it was active, but it's just currently not. Something really funny we could do is we can just try and push damage with this Battle Fury. Like, we can just make this Seraphine a 9 power unit and half health them. That would make us killing them faster much easier. That's pretty funny. I think I'm going to try and do that. I don't know how much better this... I don't know how much better this Hextech Anomaly gets. So I might as well just, like, chunk them for 8... Or for 9, sorry. Put them down half their HP. This could be a Comet, and if it is, again, we just have tag out. Okay, it's Traveler. So again, if they get something crazy off a Traveler, we still have tag out. So it's not too worried about it. I could coin here. I think I'm gonna coin here just to trigger flow, so that way I can drum solo next turn, and I can drum solo next turn with a discount on it, which is really nice. So, oh, their Song Spinner, cool. So you're gonna stun me. I'm gonna click OK. I think I'm just gonna pass a lot here, and then force my opponent to attack me because they're gonna want to attack me, right? Oh, Destroyer's a pretty big card. Okay. Well, let's just draw cards here with Drum Solo. There could be a chance that we just, like, randomly kill them. Yeah, I think we can just kill them if we don't die this turn. We need to not die this turn. So this is 8, 10, 14, 16, 17. So really we just need to stop this 4-4 from hitting us, which doesn't really sound too hard. Like, I think if we just do this... I'm wondering if we could actually kill this Destroyer. Caustic Rift is not a new card, so that doesn't flip this. But, yeah, I mean, I think if we just do this... And then we can just Seraphine spell... Sure. There's actually still only 15 damage, so, like, I don't even have to Seraphine spell here if I don't want to. I'm not dead, right? Like, I'll go to 1. And they just shouldn't have any reach. We can just play our BB. We'll play Sputtering Song Spinner and just win the game with Warning Shot. So, this shows you again how to just kind of play with your life total. Life total's kind of low, and they know. Like, they know they're just dead. I think most of the time you can assume if your opponent is willing to just, like, go to 1 and then have the combo in hand, they probably have you dead. Still make them play it out. I would have made myself play it out if I was in their spot. But yeah, it's very, very understandable if they're, like, tilted or frustrated or something like that, that they concede in that spot. So, cool. There you go. 1-0. Alright, so Samira Fizz. So, Samira Fizz, this matchup is supposed to be pretty decent for you. Unfortunately, like, my version is not super teched for it because I don't plan to really hit it at all. We're literally just going to hard mulligan for BB and then for the Caustic Rift. And usually BB plus Caustic Rift can kind of carry you home. Ideally, do have some amount of, like, deal 2 damage cards early so they can't just run all over you. But a lot of times they'll play around it anyways, so they won't just go, like, slam Samira on 2 type deal because they're afraid of you just Mystic Shotting their Samira. Yeah, so the thing with this matchup is very much just, like, you have BB on 5 plus Caustic Rift. If they don't swindle, like, literally they have to swindle exactly like a Mystic Shot or something from you, or swindle some sort of, like, fast speed damage spell. And then if they don't do that, then they just, like, literally cannot stop Caustic Rift dealing 10 gajillion damage to them. A hard thing to deal with in this matchup is going to be the Inferno, because it has so much HP, it's going to be pretty difficult to kill early on if you don't have, like, exactly Hex Obliterator on 4. And then, on top of that, like, if you don't kill it immediately, just draw so many cards. So this kind of looks like they're trying to set up for a Stylish Shot, which is, like, super greedy. Okay, they don't go for it. Which, again, it's super greedy because I have Mystic Shot. So that tells me they're probably just trying to like bait out the Mystic Shot, or their hand's like not good and they're gonna go for barbed wire here. That's the kind of the two reads I have on that. Is that they're just trying to bait out the Mystic Shot so they could play their Seraphine or play their whatever. So here, okay, so we have the combo, right? Like we have the Caustic Rift, we have the Seraphine. We just pass, tell our opponents to do something. If they just want to like waste turns, like they get one more attack token before we get PB plus Caustic Rift. So if they want to waste that doing whatever, they can do whatever. So here again, if they have Inferno, we're kind of sad because we just can't really do anything about it. There's a Stylish Shot, so I think they were just checking us. I'm not too sure. Okay, well here is Augmented Clockling. This could find us a deal 2 damage card. It doesn't, so we're just going to skip here. Hopefully it does. Okay, it found us a deal 2 damage card, so hopefully we can kind of just kill everything. So, we are going to probably just say okay and just like let our opponent think they can attack us when they can't. Cool. So we just wasted a Stylish Shot from them, which is extremely important. Stylish Shot is like one of the most important cards in this matchup. Or Stylish Shot is just one of the most important cards for this deck. Very, very, very powerful card. We're just going to make them use an all-out here, and then they don't have an all-out for like their Shelly, their Samira, something more important. But it'll still be worth it for them because they get the Stylish Shot back. Right, so they're keeping the Elusive alive. That's very fair. Very fair. They're going to push damage here. Maybe they push both damage. If you have 2 Stylish Shots. Or sorry, if you have 2 all-outs, maybe you do that. Who knows? Right, so they're keeping them both alive. So we just have like BB plus Caustic Rift. Ideally, I can draw any sort of like burst speed spell to make this deal 1 more to play around the Shelly. But I think I'm still fine here. So what do we draw here? Drum Solo. Not exactly what we wanted or what we were asking for, but anyways, here's the Mischievous Mirai, and then we just tell our opponent like, can you beat 2 damage thing? And so it's really going to come down to just like, do they have Swindle, and then do they swindle our Caustic Rift back and then stop the keg? That's really just going to come down to. It's going to come down to like, do we even need the keg? And then if we do need the keg, can they just swindle away the Caustic Rift and stop it? So they have Inferno here, very scary. Only 2 cards left in their hand. They've already used 2 all-outs. So, wow, that was a really good hit, especially if he just gets another burst speed thing. So no swindle here makes me extremely happy. Okay, no swindle. So it looks like they're just trying to play Burblefish, would be my guess. So they have... we don't know what their hand is right now. They did draw a card off of Inferno. Yep, so they're just going in. So, very fair stuff. Should definitely attack with that, yeah. So let's do some of this. See what we get here. Creative. I mean, might as well just play it because it's a fleeting version of whatever anyways. And yep. And then we can just Caustic Rift for 4 damage. Not quite enough. Almost enough to kill the Inferno, but not quite. Not quite. So... But it is enough to kill anything past all out, which is like really important because it deals 4 to everything. So even if they all out Fizz here, Fizz still dies. So that's very good if they drew like 3rd all out. Okay, sounds good. They are going to get their Stylish Shot back again. We are still like really low, which is really, really scary because this deck doesn't have any life gain. And so there's a good chance they just like burn us out with Stylish Shot. We do have Back Alley Bar plus Seraphine. We have Drum Solo plus Seraphine, so we can have, and we do have the Warning Shot, right? So there's a potential that if we just draw a Song Spinner, they just die. But it's really going to come down to, like, did they draw, or do we draw the Song Spinner? So I think we're going to start off with a Drum Solo, probably, and just see what we draw. And this will tell us if we have the ability to try and win the game next turn or not. And I just don't think... we do. I think we would have needed like exactly Song Spinner basically to try and win the game. The good news is that we have Seraphine and this like Peacemaker and Flo could try and get us there. Let's go ahead and play Pablo. Let's just try and push damage randomly. So we can attempt to level Seraphine and like I said, get like double healing off of Ebb and Flow, which is pretty important. So there's Fleeting, Stylish Shot. There's a chance they just burn us out here. That's very possible too. If we can get the 7 damage off, that'll help us out a lot. Oh no. So that's probably warning shot, I would assume, is what they're going to take here. Maybe they got the prize fight. Like, the best case scenario for us is they hit, like, back alley bar, prize fight, Peacemaker, I guess. That's probably, like, the best options for it. We are going to play Seraphine, so this prize fight puts us up to 7. Random Seraphine spell puts us to 8, so we don't actually get to level, which is pretty frustrating. Ideally, we can level and get the 2 flows. If we can get 2 flows, I think we can very much still win this game. If we don't get 2 flows, I don't think we're on the cusp of winning. But who knows? We'll see. We'll see. It all depends on if they have to give us a priority for next turn or not. If they don't have to give us a priority, then no. So let's just swing. Let's just swing here. Again, if we can put them to 12, that's more likely chance that we can win with BB plus Seraphine. Still not very likely, but more likely. Again, I think the only way we're like realistically winning is if we can somehow get double flow, which I think will be quite hard to do. Because I think it'd be really hard for us to put them in a spot where they can't just open attack us for lethal. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Purple. Okay, so let's Seraphine here. Line them up. Okay, I mean, we have a chance to have lethal. This puts us to 7. This puts us to 8. I mean, we just need... Again, if they give us 1 priority, we have it for sure. If we get another burst speed spell, again, we're like 1 sputtering song spinner off of just like flat out winning the game. So if that's what we end up drawing off the top, that's literally game winning. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. There is also a chance that they just like do some really like poor attack, and then we can get there with just like over Peacemaker, right? Like they do some poor attack, we're able to like Mystic Shot something. Like this attack right here is not very good, but I think we do kind of need to play this to level the Seraphine. But I am down to just pass, I guess. Worst case scenario is we just have Peacemaker if they develop into us. Oh, Time Trick was again one of the best cards we could draw. So let's see what happens. We have 9 mana, so we could Time Trick into a Song Spinner. Let's see it. So let's Time Trick. If we hit a Song Spinner, we can just like win the game. And I think we probably just got there. So pretty good draws, all in all. So a Song Spinner, we just need Burst Speed spells. Burst Speed spell. Burst Speed spell. And Burst Speed spell. Okay, so we kind of like got cards out of our mind here. We need to level Seraphine, so I want to get the most value off of these 2. And I didn't do the math, but we just kind of have to hope that we have enough for lethal here. Probably should do the math before you just start clicking buttons, but math is for nerds. And we'll see what happens here. Maybe we get lucky and we get like, we can swindle. Maybe they stole our warning shot. Nope. Okay, so Bloodbait's pretty cool, but not enough. Here's Stylish Shot. Another Stylish Shot. So, but we did end up getting there just with warning shots, I think. Yeah, because... Oh, wait, no. I don't think we did get there with warning shots. So, 9... Oh, no, we did. We have exact lethal. That's crazy. Exact lethal. So... Oh, yeah, I just missed that. Sorry. That's my alarm telling me it's time to go to bed, but I'm up recording late. So, yeah, there you go. So, it shows you, like, you can just steal wins a lot of the times that this deck, if you have BB and Seraphine, you get there. So, the Caustic Rift was really important. We hard mulligan for Caustic Rift. Our opening hand was, like, not really good. We had 0 ways to actually kill early game units. And they had double pump spell to keep their units alive, and we still just found our out to win that game, right? Even without them giving us an action. So that kind of just shows you how to keep calm and just know exactly what your outs are and how to play for them. So I knew like our outs were Song Spinner, and then if they gave us 1 action, like what to do with it. Fortunately, they didn't need to give us what action. We were able to get there with the Song Spinner, but it just lets you know what to keep your eye out for, what to constantly be on the lookout for, and how to win games. Okay, Ashe Noxus. Alright, so we're against Ashe Noxus here. So in this matchup, typically what you just want is early game removal spells. Like, this hand's pretty decent. Maker Rain's kind of whatever. They don't really have cheap, like, small things you need to remove. Piltover and Telstones is pretty good because it's a way to kill Ashe, which is really important. So I'm just going to keep this whole hand, right? This is a way to, like, kill LeBlanc, kill a unit on 2, kill a unit on 3, kill Ashe on 4. So all in all, this hand's really good. So that's what you're looking for against Ashe LeBlanc. Try and keep them off of reputation early if you can. And then their scariest unit into you is the 5/4 that can't block. If they don't have that, you're pretty happy. So Omen Hawk, don't care, don't need to kill that. Also, this guy giving this card, Piltover Peacemaker, giving flash bombs is good. Sorry, I'm trying to stop saying like this card and this one and this thing, because I know a lot of people watch my stuff on the background and people obviously appreciate that. Shout out to Unhinge, who said something on Twitter recognizing that that's what I've been trying to do. And then someone else in the comments, I'm sorry I forgot your name, but there's someone in the comments that originally gave me the idea that to not talk that way, and it's been very helpful, obviously helpful for multiple viewers, so appreciate that insight. So this card's actually pretty decent to Poro stories because it creates 3 random Poros in your hand, and that just gives you like little chump blockers, which is pretty good. I'm down to run Seraphine out, and you might be wondering why. It's because they're not threatening anything. Their hand's obviously really bad, right? Like they didn't play Omen Hawk on 1, they played it on turn 2, which means they didn't have Scary on 2, they didn't have a Scary unit on 3. I'm just gonna pass here because they have to play Ashe here on 4, otherwise their hand is just absolutely dead. Okay, they top decked a 5/4 Trifarian Assessor. That's okay. I think I'm down to kill that thing with fire because there's a chance they just have a second one in their hand, and I don't want them to be able to draw extra cards for no reason. So we're gonna use our Piltover Peacemaker, put flash bombs in their deck, and then we're gonna use heavy metal here. And then yeah, and then our goal is just to keep them off of this 5-power unit. Here's here to help. Okay, +2/+3. That's fine. Kind of annoying, but okay. I guess I could have stacked them so it didn't get the plus power. Killed the Omen Hawk though. So I wouldn't be surprised if they throw down a second Trifarian Assessor, just trying to draw more cards because their hand is not good. Their hand could be like full of Frostbites, maybe full of Reckonings, stuff like that. I think I am just gonna Aftershock the Challenger unit. If they have Elixir of Iron, I'll probably try to hit it with an Ebb. We'll probably Time Trick first and see what happens, because Time Trick could also hit like Make It Rain or really anything like Make It Rain or Caustic Rift, so let's see what we get here. We didn't hit either. We did hit another Seraphine, so I'm down to just take that. I'm very much down to just take that Seraphine and call it a day. I don't need to cast the spell. I'm down to just replay it as a Seraphine later down the line. We can Coral Creatures here, give us a nice little blocker. And then again, probably just start playing the Poros for blockers. Prize Fight's a pretty good card. Helps us level our Seraphine. There's a Caustic Rift. We could have needed you last turn. So let's just Poros Story and put down a blocker. Yeah, I like Spell Shield blocker. Pretty good. Doesn't die to Reckoning. And then we can just threaten the pass here. Anytime an opponent doesn't do anything, we can just click the pass button. The good news about this Ashe LeBlanc deck is they don't really have reach outside of like LeBlanc spell. You don't have to worry about actual reach. They do have a rally card, but that card is very expensive if they don't have reputation, which right now they don't. They're 2 out of 4. So a 5/1. I don't care about that. I have Caustic Rift. So I'm down to just click pass because that's an irrelevant card. As long as opponents playing irrelevant cards, we're pretty happy. So this should be Reckoning. Yeah, so their hand's like really just full of Reckonings and full of just not great cards. So let's see, what do we want to do here? There's also why we played the Spell Shield Poro first to play around this Reckoning, because we kind of have the read that their hands is just only spells because of how they played the early game. So I'm down to just click pass, and then we can just play, probably just Plucky Poro here is fine. And just have 2 blockers and be happy. I think I'm down to play the 3rd blocker here, just in case we top deck a bar or something. Wow, this would be a really good Caustic Rift turn. This could be a pretty good Caustic Rift turn. I like next turn, obviously, when they attack and when they're trying to apply pressure with their attack. Caustic Rift is good. Okay, we drew our Seraphine and our BB. Seraphine is going to be 6 out of 9 once we play this Caustic Rift. And then so Sputtering Song Spinner will level it. We could also play Ebb and Flow to level it. We're pretty happy here. I think we're in a really, really good spot. I think our opponent should just pass here. I think our opponent's hand is so bad they should just offer a pass and just say like, hey, I'm going to pretend that I have cool cards, which is not what our opponent is doing, but that's fine. Honestly, where we are right now, we can just play a Mirai, because Mirai plus this Caustic Rift is absolutely disgusting. They play Revna, and we just board wipe them, right? We just board wipe them. They're still not going to be on Reputation. They're still only going to be 3 out of 4 with this Fairy Assessor. I probably should have put the naked Porofly in front of it, but it's all good. So Seraphine is 6 out of 9. And I'm down to open this for 5. Chip damage is extremely important, because chip damage just means that's less spells you have to play to combo off. As we saw with the, that last game, we were able to beat them just off of the chip damage. So here, it's pretty difficult because they have the 4 mana to have the strike spell, and we know there's like a 99% chance that they have that strike spell in their hand. So let's just try to level our Seraphine so we can get to a point to where we just win the game at burst speed, I think is the plan. I think that is the plan, is we're just going to heal. We're just going to heal and try and deal damage. Okay, so we dealt 4 to the Nexus, so that's even more chip damage, which is good. Opponent should for sure strike this right now. They're not going to, so if they don't immediately strike this here, we're just going to take any open attack, take any action, anything they do, we don't care, and we're just going to win the game on the spot with Seraphine. Actually, we don't have our warning shot, so we can't actually win the game on the spot. But we can do a lot of damage. Like, we can completely negate their Reckoning by just board wiping them with this Caustic Rift now. So, really, we're just telling our opponent, hey, like, do something or you've essentially just lost the game. Here comes Reckoning number 2. Yep, so there's Reckoning number 2. So let's just Song Spinner, get a bunch of stacks on our stuff. Time Winder is good. That'll be our way to win the game. Rummage is good. That'll be a way to find our win condition. And neither of these really matter, so we'll just pick Called Shot because it draws us cards. Let's go ahead and just play out some burst speed spells. So let's Encore. See what Encore gives us. Encore gives us really nothing. We can Magical Portal, which is pretty cool. We can Sumpworks Map, which is pretty cool. And then now we can just threaten a Time Winder and just threaten to kill them. So let's do that. Let's get rid of the Called Shot here and just threaten to kill them. Because, again, they don't have Reputation, they're 1 off, so they can't strike this with 2 mana, so we know that they've lost the game. Cool. And if we wouldn't have hit that Time Winder, again, the plan was just to make enough kegs to where the Caustic Rift was dealing 5 to everything, and then if they had a second Elixir of Iron or whatever, then we just play 1 more spell, get it up to that 7 point, and then kill them again, so... Again, quick 3-0. I think I'm going to end the video there because it's very late, so I'm sorry for the short amount of games, only 3 games. But this deck is very, very powerful, I think, if played correctly. Yeah, again, quick 3-0 on the deck. Let me pull it back up here for you guys. And yeah, it's I'm definitely bringing this to the Open. This is one of the 3 decks. So, like I said, this is my lineup for the Open. Is just going to be Samira, Fizz, Karma Set, and then Jack, Seraphine. I don't think it's a very crazy lineup. It's very standard. And this is going to be the build I'm most likely on. I'm still refining it. So the link, if you ever want the most up-to-date build or version of my deck, go check me out on Runeterra AR. Just go to Runeterra AR. If you just type my name in, because I'm one of their content creators and I'm not like their content creator. I'm just a content creator. So a lot of people look my name up and I have a lot of followers on there. My name will come up if you type in Mo. You can click on my profile, see my match history. You can see the decks I've been playing. You can see the exact deck codes that I've been playing because I don't keep my stuff private. I keep it all open so that you guys can see it. So if you want to see if I end up doing anything crazy, like go back up to 2-bar, add in a second Pablo, anything else that I've kind of been considering and figuring out what to do here and there, that's where you can go to find it. But I will have this deck code down in the description below. So very cool, very good deck. Hope you guys enjoyed the deck guide. If you did, make sure to comment down below what deck guide you want me to see. What deck guide you want to see me do next. Any comment, any interaction really helps me out so much with the algorithm. I'm really appreciative of you guys. You guys have been great. Very supportive the last year and a half. So you guys have been awesome. I'm glad I can keep putting out consistent content. I mean, hey, last week we did 6 videos last week. That's great. I'm trying to do 5 videos consistently Monday through Friday, and I'm trying to give you guys a weekend video when I can. So yeah, make sure to tune in Saturday for my Runeterra Open run, the first Runeterra Open. If you win, you get a bunch of money, you get a bunch of world points, and you also now get a qualification, like an invite to a secret special, it's not a secret, but like a special riot event. So make sure you tune in, twitch.tv/emotional. The link is going to be down in the description below, along with the deck code to this deck, and a link to my Discord, all that type of stuff, because you're not going to want to miss my open run. And hopefully, you know, things go really well, and I can put everything that I've been practicing, you know, on full display and do well with it. So that's going to be it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next one.